Did you know that one of the most popular social media platforms, Twitter, isn't always just about trending hashtags and viral tweets? Sometimes, it can transform into a digital haunted house full of griping horror stories. My name is John, and welcome to today's video about 3 scary Twitter horror stories. These 3 disturbing stories will make you think twice before scrolling through your Twitter feed late at night. Stick to the end of this video, because the last story is going to make your heart beat fast. So subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Not long ago, I took a leap and moved out of my parents' house. There wasn't any big fallout or dramatic reason. I just decided it was time to navigate life on my own. However, I quickly discovered the harsh reality. Rent can be astronomical, especially for a college student like me who needs to live close to campus. A mortgage was slightly less expensive, but buying a property wasn't a feasible option for me. So, after much deliberation, I found myself choosing a life in a large house and sharing the cost with 3 other roommates. Although it wasn't exactly the epitome of ideal living, it was the most budget-friendly choice. Living with strangers can be off-putting for some people, but I was alright with it. I've always been good at making connections with others. I was about to share a roof with 3 other guys, namely Tony, Zach, and Melvin. All I knew was that they, like me, couldn't afford to live solo. Upon moving in, I made it a point to introduce myself to each of them. I wanted to get a feel for who they were and needed their contacts for inevitable housemate decisions. They all seemed fairly cool, except for Zach, who had this strange, disconcerting habit of intensely staring at me during conversations. When I asked for his number, he gave me his Twitter handle instead. A bit surprised, I hesitantly reciprocated. He explained he preferred Twitter because it allowed him to keep tabs on his friends' lives through their tweets. This statement made me slightly uncomfortable, but I didn't mind it much. Throughout my stay, I pretty much kept to myself, desiring nothing more than a peaceful abode while I worked and saved some money. However, things took an eerie turn. While studying in my room, I'd often be interrupted by Twitter notifications from Zach. His tweets were unnerving, filled with veiled references that I suspected were about me. It made my skin crawl. In contrast, Tony and Melvin were welcoming, and over time, we developed a good rapport, often hanging out together. One night, after spending time in Tony's room, I found Zach waiting outside, glaring at me with a sulky, childish expression that was more frightening than amusing. Another day, after receiving a disturbing violent tweet from Zach, I spent the night at my friend's place, too scared to return home. At some point, I realized I couldn't let fear rule me, and decided to go home late that night. The house was eerily dark and silent, apart from the faint light streaming from Tony's room, and the sight of blood pooling under his door. Panic rose in my throat as I found Tony lifeless on the floor, with Zach laughing maniacally, a bloodied knife in his hand. I bolted out of there and immediately called the police, who showed up swiftly and apprehended Zach. I shudder to think what would have happened if I had stayed at the house that night. This chilling story mirrors the real-life incident involving an Arizona man who tweeted about his murderous intentions before deciding to take action, even showing an interest in purchasing a firearm. Tragically, one of his roommates didn't survive, leading to his 12-year imprisonment for manslaughter. Hi there, I'm Tristy, and at 29 years old, I found myself tangled up in an eventful and unpredictable chain of happenings. It kick-started on the internet, a playground for half of the population including me. I had this Twitter account, nothing too flashy. I'd post photos, updates, just the usual stuff. I even indulged in a little bit of harmless vanity, sharing pictures of my beachwear, but I always kept it tasteful. Then, out of the blue, an unpleasant turn of events unfolded. My Twitter account was hacked, and posts under my name started to appear. Awful messages targeting my friends and family, And the worst part was the intimate photos of me and my ex-boyfriend, Nathan, had surfaced. I was as shocked as anyone else. I had no idea those pictures even existed. Nathan, a computer whiz by profession, became my prime suspect. After all, he would have known how to conceal those photos from me. Fed up, I reported the incident to the police. My Twitter account was beyond my control at that point, but thankfully, the police managed to contact Twitter executives and had my account deleted. I assured everyone that the malicious messages were not from me, but the work of a disgruntled ex. But those inappropriate pictures, those are permanent scars in the minds of my family and friends. Although my friends understood, it stained my relationship with my family for a while. A week later, I received a distressing call from the police. Nathan was dead, having taken his own life, with some pharmaceutical mix 8 months before my Twitter debacle. This rattled me to my core. If Nathan was dead, who was the real culprit behind the hacking? That's when I received an email from the afterlife. It was from Nathan's email account. This email was cryptic, mentioning eternal life in a digital world and apologizing for the pictures. I was baffled. I didn't believe in the supernatural, but the quirky prose was eerily similar to Nathan's style. Inspired by this strange episode, I decided to meet Elena, my ex's sister. She was just as tech-savvy as Nathan, and they were really close. My suspicions led me to her. Elena, living alone in her plush house, was taken aback by my unexpected visit. She invited me in, and we started chatting. She looked weary and anxious. She revealed a shocking truth. Nathan had successfully completed a project that allowed human consciousness to be uploaded onto the internet, granting a form of eternal digital life. This explained the email. Fearing misuse by the company funding the project, Nathan decided to escape into the virtual world and leave the physical one behind. Elena candidly offered to help me join Nathan in this virtual infinity if I wished. I thanked her, but politely declined, wishing her the best, and left. Since then, Nathan has left me at peace, but now every time I log onto my computer, I can't shake off the feeling of being watched. In a tragic event, an astrology influencer named Danielle Charakia Johnson is believed to have stabbed her partner before forcing her 2 young daughters onto a freeway and driving her vehicle into a tree at high speed. Known online as Danielle Ayoka, she was a self-proclaimed astrologer, a Reiki master, and a recording artist. Her online messages turned frantic with alarming warnings in the run-up to Monday's solar eclipse. She pleaded with her followers to gear up for spiritual warfare and to believe in their personal magic for freedom. Her interests also veered towards conspiracy theories, with her posts hinting at anti-Semitic sentiments and theories about the origins of COVID-19. Johnson's increasing preoccupation with the apocalypse and the solar eclipse seems to have played a part in this tragic event. On the fateful day, authorities found tarot cards and black feathers at the crime scene, her residence, where she's suspected to have killed her partner. She then allegedly fled with her 2 daughters in her Porsche. Later, the police found her youngest daughter lifeless on the freeway. The horror was pieced together by her elder daughter.
The surviving child, I just can't get her out of my mind, and I can see her little face, and I feel very bad.
Johnson's car was found crashed into a tree in Redondo Beach that same morning with her lifeless body inside. Her shocking acts have been classified as a double murder-suicide by the Los Angeles Police Department. Besides her online presence, Johnson was an Airbnb artist who had provided astrology-based healing sessions. Her website, Danielle Ayoka, offers services like aura cleansing, Mercury retrograde grounding, and zodiac healing, drawing from her near-death experience at the age of 3. She blended her psychology education with her knowledge of energy and physics to offer a holistic remedy to life's everyday struggles. So that's a wrap. Subscribe to the channel for more horror videos, and don't forget to hit the like button.